In this video, we journey deep into the southern valleys of Ethiopia to a world where earth and spirit dance as one, where dust swirls like incense around proud figures draped in ochre, beads, and tradition. This is the land of the Hamar, a people who have carried their customs through centuries, untouched by the haste of modern time. Their weddings are not just ceremonies, they are living poetry, rites of endurance, of beauty, of spirit. Tonight, we walk with them through the songs, the pain, the laughter, and the sacred fire that binds man and woman beneath the gaze of their ancestors. This is the story of a union not written in paper or rings, but in scars, in dust, and in the strength of the soul. When a Hamar woman is chosen, the wind itself seems to carry whispers of her name. Across the low hills and thorny plains, her beauty is not measured by softness or youth, but by the way she wears her copper bracelets, the way the red ochre shines in her hair beneath the sun. Each strand glows with butter and iron dust, a crown of earth and fire. Her scent carries the smoke of wood fires and the spice of the valley wind, marking her as one who belongs to both soil and spirit. The man who seeks her hand has already walked the long path of worthiness. He is not chosen by wealth alone, but by courage, by the strength of his arms, the respect of his kin, and the quiet approval of the ancestors whose bones rest beneath the acacia trees. Before the wedding, the families meet beneath a canopy of open sky. Cattle are gathered, gifts exchanged, not as payment, but as a declaration of trust and continuity. Each cow, each goat, speaks of respect between families, a promise that life will continue to flow like milk through generations. For days, the village hums with preparation. Women grind sorghum, men repair the fences, and the young rehearse the songs that will echo through the night. In the heart of the village, a sacred place is cleared. The ground swept of thorns and shadows, ready to receive the steps of dancers and the dust of the ancestors. As the sun sinks low, the women gather in circles. Their voices rise in waves, chants that are both prayer and celebration. Beads flash against brown skin. Iron rings clink with rhythm. They sing of fertility, of strength, of the long thread that binds every Hamar woman to those who came before. And among them stands the bride, silent, radiant, her body painted in red earth. Her eyes do not lower, for this is not a day of submission, but of power. She stands as the living bridge between two families, between past and future, between the world of girls and the fire of womanhood. Tomorrow, her journey begins, a journey of pain, courage, and transformation, for love, in the land of the Hamar, is not spoken, it is proven, it is earned, and it is forever marked upon the skin. The dawn comes softly over the valley, the air trembling with the hum of cattle and the murmur of distant drums. It is the day of testing, the day when laughter turns to silence and every breath feels older than time itself. The women of the Hamar gather once more, their bodies shining with ochre and butter, their ornaments clinking like wind against iron. They form a living circle, a storm of color and song, their voices rising in chants that carry both joy and defiance. At the center of this storm stand the young men, the Maza, those who have already leapt the bulls, those who now serve as guardians of the ritual. Their eyes are stern, their backs straight, their bodies draped in the dust of yesterday's courage. The women dance closer, their steps striking the earth with rhythm and purpose. They sing for their brothers, their cousins, their beloveds. They sing for the man who is about to face his trial. But this song is not gentle. It is fierce, a challenge, a call to endure. Then comes the moment that outsiders struggle to understand, the ritual of the whip. The women, their faces glowing with pride and devotion, step forward and offer their bare backs to the maza. They demand the lash, not as punishment, but as proof. Each stroke is a declaration that they stand with their men, that they too bear pain as honor, that scars are not wounds but symbols of strength and loyalty. The whips crack like thunder. The air trembles with sound and spirit. Some bleed, none cry. Each mark becomes a thread woven into the fabric of communal memory. It says, I was there. I believed. I endured. The men who wield the whips do not act in cruelty. Their faces remain solemn, almost mournful. They know the meaning behind each strike. That pain is a bridge, and courage, a sacred inheritance. Around them, the chanting swells again. The voices of the women rise above the sound of the lash, turning agony into music, flesh into faith. When the last song fades, the air is thick with dust and devotion. The women stand tall, their bodies streaked with crimson, their pride unbroken. They laugh and sing again, their voices ringing through the valley, their scars glistening beneath the sun like living jewels. For in the world of the Hamar, beauty is not fragile. It is fire-tested. It is courage made visible. And in their laughter, in their fearless defiance, they whisper a truth older than language itself. That love is not softness, but endurance shared. As dusk bleeds into gold, the land holds its breath. The moment has come, the test that shapes the destiny of every Hamar man. They call it Ukuli Bula, the bull jumping, a passage from youth into manhood, a crossing between worlds. The young man who will leap today has spent his life waiting for this hour. He has watched others before him, his brothers, his cousins, their bodies scarred, their hearts forged by courage. Now, the weight of tradition rests upon his shoulders. In the clearing, the maza lead the bulls, sleek and strong, their hides dusted with earth and sunlight. The animals snort and shift, their breath heavy, their hooves digging into the sacred soil. They are not mere beasts today. They are living symbols, the spirit of challenge and continuity. The young man strips himself bare. No clothing, no weapon. He carries only his will, because before the eyes of his people and the spirits that hover unseen, a man must be pure, nothing between his skin and the trial of destiny. One by one, the bulls are lined up in a row, their backs forming a bridge between boyhood and manhood. The circle of witnesses grows tighter. The women's chants return, low, pulsing, ancient. The air smells of dust, sweat, and fate. He steps back once, twice. The world narrows until there is nothing but the line of bulls and the pounding of his heart. Then he runs, feet striking the ground in thunder. And with a single motion, he leaps. Over one bull, then another, 4, 5. A dance between balance and faith. The crowd erupts in sound, cries, songs, the shaking of gourds. The ancestors are watching, the spirits, listening. If he falls, he must try again. If he succeeds, he becomes a man. Today, he does not fall. He reaches the end and turns, leaping back once more, as if to seal the bond between both sides of his life. The boy who was, and the man who is now born. When his feet touch the earth, the dust rises like blessing smoke. Elders step forward. The women's songs break into joyous laughter. Children race around the bulls, echoing the chants of their mothers. He stands among them, his chest heaving, his eyes shining with the reflection of firelight. The ceremony is not just a victory, it is renewal. For him, for his kin, for the spirit of the tribe. For in this act, the Hamar remind the world that courage is not a word spoken in quiet rooms. It is a leap, a risk, a surrender to destiny. Night gathers around the village, but the air remains alive with drumming and praise. Tomorrow, new rituals will come. The bride will be anointed. The fires will burn until dawn. But tonight, beneath a sky heavy with stars, a boy has become a man, and the land itself seems to hum in approval. Morning creeps across the valley like a whispered prayer. The bulls have quieted. The songs of the night still echo in the dust. But the village stirs again. For now, it is her day, the day of the bride. She emerges from the shadows of the women's huts, her skin glistening with oil and ochre, her hair braided and heavy with iron dust. Around her neck hang layers of beads, blue, amber, ivory, each one a promise, each one a memory of the mothers who came before. In the Hamar way, beauty is not painted, it is born from the earth. The red ochre, boko, is sacred. It is mixed with butter, with clay, with the breath of the morning fire. When it touches her skin, it is not decoration, it is transformation. A prayer to the spirits of fertility, to the ancestors who dwell in the soil, to the life that she will carry forward. Her sisters and cousins gather around her, their hands steady and reverent. They smear the mixture across her arms, her chest, her hair, each stroke deliberate, each gesture sacred. They sing as they work, low and rhythmic, their voices weaving through the air like smoke. Their song tells of womanhood, of patience, of the heat of love and the strength it demands. When they finish, she stands in silence. The sun catches her skin, and she glows, as if the very earth has chosen to wear her form. The air around her hums with energy. The ochre, red as fire, marks her as the heart of this day. Meanwhile, the men prepare for the celebration. They adorn themselves with feathers and beads, their hair slicked with butter and ash, their bodies painted in white chalk, symbols of renewal and strength. They wear leather skirts adorned with cowrie shells, their ankles wrapped with bells that will sing as they move. As the drumming begins, the two worlds, male and female, meet in rhythm. The dance begins again, but now its meaning has deepened. The women move in slow, sweeping motions, their bare feet raising dust that mingles with the red earth. The men respond with stamping steps, each movement a declaration of power and readiness. In the center of it all stands the bride, radiant, still, unshaken. Her body tells the story of union, earth and spirit, woman and man, life and renewal. She is no longer the maiden of yesterday. She has become the vessel of tomorrow. As the drums quicken, the crowd joins in. The old, the young, the newly initiated. Their voices rise to the sky, calling upon the unseen guardians of their people. It is not a celebration of two individuals alone, but of the tribe itself, of its continuity, its courage, its unbroken song through time. When the final chant fades, the bride is led away, her skin still glowing with the sheen of the red earth. She will rest now, surrounded by the women of her family, while outside the fires burn into the night. The Hamar say that in the color of the ochre lives the spirit of love, warm, fierce, enduring, and as the wind carries the scent of smoke across the plain, The ancestors, too, are said to smile. As the sun dips toward the horizon, the village glows in amber light. The dust of the day clings to skin and hair, yet no one seeks to wash it away. It is the color of endurance, of courage, of life lived fully. Tables of wood and reed are laden with the bounty of the land. Sorghum beer in clay pots, roasted goats, fresh milk. A feast not for indulgence, but for unity. The tribe gathers as one body, each heart beating to the pulse of the ancestors. The bride and groom stand at the center, their bodies glowing with ochre and sweat, their eyes meeting in silent acknowledgement of the journey behind them and the path they now walk together. It is a union not forged in words, but in witness, in ritual, in the earth that has held them both since birth. Music rises, low at first, then wild and unrestrained. The men drum, their hands moving like lightning across taut skins, while the women join with claps and ululations that pierce the evening air. The dance begins, a living river of motion, spiraling around the couple as the entire village moves as one. Men and women weave in patterns older than memory. The bells on ankles sing with each step, each footfall a prayer, each turn a blessing. The young leap into the air, imitating the courage of the bull jumping, while elders sway slowly, marking time with eyes that have seen generations pass. In this sacred motion, every gesture is symbolic. The stamp of a foot honors the ancestors. The rise of hands invokes the spirits. The turning of the body celebrates fertility and continuity. It is both ecstatic and reverent, a delicate balance between joy and solemnity. Finally, as night enfolds the valley, the couple steps forward. The bride's red ochre glows in torchlight, her hair braided tight, adorned with beads and cowrie shells. The groom, tall and steady, wears the marks of the ritual, scars of courage and strength. Together, they make their first steps as husband and wife, their movements slow, deliberate, and profound. The tribe watches, sings, and dances, each member aware that this is not only the union of two lives, but the renewal of an entire lineage. The earth, the fire, the dust, and the ancestors themselves seem to witness and approve. When the drums finally slow, when the voices fade into whispers, a silence settles, heavy, sacred, and complete. The Hamar have celebrated life, courage, love, and continuity. The bride and groom rest beneath the stars, marked by tradition, blessed by ancestors, ready to carry forward the eternal song of their people. And so, the cycle continues. The bull will run, the ochre will shine, the drums will echo across the valleys again. For in the land of the Hamar, life is lived as ritual, and love is forged in fire, dust, and courage. Night drapes the valley like a velvet cloak, and the village, now quiet, still carries the pulse of the day. The fires have dimmed, the drums have fallen silent, but the memory of movement, of courage, of life lived in ritual, lingers in the air. The bride rests, her skin still warm with red ochre, her heart beating in rhythm with the spirits of her ancestors. The groom sits nearby, shoulders marked with the proof of his trial, his eyes reflecting the firelight and the weight of responsibility he now carries. Every scar, every streak of ochre, every drumbeat has spoken a story of endurance, of belonging, of a lineage unbroken. The village itself seems to breathe with satisfaction, a living witness to the courage of youth, the strength of women, and the eternal rhythm of human passage through life, love, and tradition. The elders speak little now, but their presence is felt. They have seen the trials, the dances, the leaps of both bull and spirit. They know that the rituals are more than spectacle. They are the threads that weave the past into the present, that teach each new generation the weight and wonder of their heritage. And the children watch, wide-eyed, learning in silence. They will grow to leap, to dance, to smear the sacred red earth upon their own skin. The songs will be passed from one pair of lips to another, the drum beats from one hand to the next. Life continues, shaped by courage, honor, and love. In the world of the Hamar, a wedding is never simply an event. It is a mirror of existence itself. Pain and joy intertwined, risk embraced and mastered, the fleeting moment transformed into eternity. As the stars ignite the sky and the cool wind whispers across the dust, one truth remains clear. Love, in this land, is forged in fire and earth, endured through courage and witness, and celebrated as a legacy. A song sung forever by the people, the land, and the spirits of their ancestors. And so, the night holds them gently. The dust settles, and the valley sleeps. Tomorrow, the earth will awaken, the cattle will roam, and life will continue. But the memory of this union, of every scar, every chant, every leap will remain eternal, sacred, and unbroken.